Okay, this is Aaron again from New Best Farm. I made a video here a while back called, I think it was Orchard Mulching Stacking Functions or something like that. I think that's what I titled the video. Anyway, it was about how when I was moving my compost and or wood chips out into the orchard, I was then actually using them or getting a second use out of them, a second function out of them, by leaving them in small piles and planting potatoes underneath. So if you want to see how I did that, you can watch that video. I'll put the link to it in the description of this one. And for now, I'm going to show you, during that video I said I was going to do a little bit of an experiment, and I put some potatoes under a wood chip and compost mix, some of them under only compost and some of them under only wood chips. So these potatoes have been in for a while. This is July 25th or 26th. So they've been in, shoot, I don't even, it's been a long time. They're way past due to be harvested. So we'll dig through, we'll see what we've got for potatoes. Most of these plants have died back. They're definitely ready to come out of the ground. So as you can see, these piles of compost that I put down, they've kind of broken down quite a bit and kind of spread themselves out. So if you remember from that video I made before, I've got 6 hills. So these first 6 hills here are compost only, then it's compost and wood chips 50%, and the next 6 are only wood chips. Based on me watching them grow during the season, I think I'm actually gonna get the best results out of the compost. But I'm gonna go ahead and start digging all these up, and when I'm done digging them all, I'm going to pile them separately so we can see what we got out of each section. So get my basket here. Oh, and these plants kind of started to die back. Some of them started to die back a while ago, but you can see got good potatoes. So what I was running into is we kept getting rains like perfectly spread out. You want the soil to be relatively dry when you harvest potatoes, or else when you harvest them they end up really muddy, you know, especially because we kind of have clay around here, but this is compost obviously, but we have clay soils that really stick when they're wet. Now, so anyway, I was getting really evenly spaced out rains, and the soil wouldn't dry out enough for me to come harvest. So that's finally, we've got a little bit of dry. What I'm doing here, you can see, is I took that hill, I dug all the potatoes out of it, and I'm gonna spread that compost back out around the plant. And then while I'm here, I just mowed, but we'll go ahead and do a little hand weeding as we go down the row as well. So all that right on top is mulch, and scoop some of that I mowed back in. And there you go, I've got fresh compost down now, as well as a mulch layer. Okay, get rid of some of these weeds. This is horse nettle, and it's really pervasive out here. The trick to picking horse nettle, if you can see, if you grab it up on top, it will cut and poke the crap out of you. It's super sharp, but if you go down at ground level, where it comes out of the ground, it doesn't have any thorns. So if you're weeding horse nettle, easy way to do it is to grab it right at ground level, pull it out, and if it's got seeds on it, like this, starting to get fruits will have seeds, and get it out away from your rows where you don't want it to come back in. So stick that I had buried there. All right, so next row or next hill here, try to find, and see, that one's a little soft. Get rid of it. These have been in the ground a lot longer than I would have liked, but they're still in pretty good shape. Sometimes when they stay in the ground too long, they'll soften up, or they'll actually start to grow eyes on them, which just means still gonna be okay, but you need to eat them way faster. They're not gonna store if they're in that shape. You can see a lot of times what I've done for mulching too, to feed mycelium, is I'll throw in small twigs and branches and stuff. So even as I'm digging, I'm finding a little bit of that stuff that I've used as mulch in the past. And again, spread this back out A little bit of hand weeding while I'm here. Toss this all back in place. Cover all that soil disturbance that I just made back up a little bit. So far these hills haven't been super productive, but like I said, they got little to no care. This row specifically, I didn't really water at all. We were getting fairly regular rains, especially towards the end there, when I would have liked to have them out of the ground. So yeah, I just didn't do a lot of watering. We'll see what we get here. This weed had grown right up through that where those potatoes were. These are nice looking potatoes. Pretty, shiny, smooth, nice and firm. I'm just sorting through. That one's a little soft. We'll leave it out. Sometimes I'll just throw them back in the ground and let them, if you don't, you'll never get everything, but when you leave stuff out, you'll end up with potatoes that you didn't purposely plant the next year, and essentially free harvests, free of any additional work anyway. All right, so grab some of this grass while I'm here, clean that up. Again, I've spread this compost back out, and I'm gonna take this, spread it all back. I'm just going to continue down the rows this way, and I will show you the results when I'm finished. All right, so here's the results. This is 6 hills of only compost. This is 6 hills of half compost and half pallet wood chips. And this is 6 hills of only wood chips. Okay, so some of the observations I made, looks like with the compost you're getting a lot more small potatoes, bigger yields, more potatoes, but a lot more small potatoes. And then this is kind of in the middle, the half compost, half wood chips. The yields are pretty similar between these two, the 50-50 and this is the compost, this is 50-50. They're pretty close to each other. This one you're getting smaller yields, lower yields, but the potatoes are bigger. You don't see nearly as many of the real small potatoes. So that's interesting. Again, this is 6 hills each, so as you can see, the yields aren't real high, but considering I was moving this compost out here anyway to do this job, you know, you might as well throw something underneath it and get an extra yield and stack a function. So all right, well guys, take it easy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with me.